I've gone from broke and depressed. I dropped out of school. I was incredibly lost. I had a job as a busboy. It went from being in restaurants to, I thought, what's the next version? I thought that was a lot of money. I thought that was a comfortable life. I still got to a point where I felt something within me needed change again. If you don't know me already, my name is Adam Avinas, and I've honestly been excited to do this for a long time. And under the last decade, I've gone from broke and depressed, and probably the lowest that you can go, being suicidal, all the way to, in under a decade, having a 7-figure business, being married to the love of my life, traveling the world. We're in the beautiful Tulum, Mexico right now in like a 15-person villa, just my wife and I, because we wanted the extra space. Being able to experience more love and fulfillment and abundance of all kinds than what I previously thought possible. So honestly, whether you're here to get unstuck or take things to an entirely new level, listen closely, because there's a lot of incredible lessons that I've learned along this journey from going from broke and depressed to where I am now. And that's what I want to share with you here today. Now, at my lowest of lows, I dropped out of school. I was incredibly lost. I was trying to pay bills for the first time in my life. And there was one saving grace that allowed me to start creating movement towards the life that I really want. And that was a desire or passion for something. Now, a lot of times people get so caught up in this because they don't know what they truly want to do. But the thing is that stagnation will never give you the answers that you want. So in my opinion, one of the most important things that I did was start to act and start to make movement and start to set goals even in whatever way I could, whatever thing actually excited me the most at the time. So at that time, for me, it was the restaurant industry. I dropped out of school, like I said. I had a job as a busboy at a restaurant, and all I had that gave me some even small level of fulfillment or excitement in my day was actually going to that restaurant and making people's days better. Now, a busboy, is obviously the beginning of where you start in a restaurant. When I dropped out of school, I went to them immediately. I said, make me a server. And I ended up becoming, waiting tables, serving full time. And in all honesty, I actually found a lot of fulfillment in that. Like I said, people sat down in my section at my table, and I had an hour, 3 hours to make their day better than it was before they sat down. And so I found a lot of passion in that, in food and service and everything involved in that culture. Now, that was the first thing I needed to just not be completely depressed, not have absolutely what I thought, at least at the time, was nothing going for me, right? I had something that I somewhat enjoyed that I could make money in and expand into, grow into some sort of career in it, right? I hit this base level state where I could pay my bills. I somewhat liked what I was doing, and I could start to see some life that was better even within that than what I was experiencing at the time. So because I had locked in this fulfillment, I started to think maybe I was going to do this forever. And so I started to dream and in my head think about, hey, maybe I can become a manager, which I ended up going on and doing. I ended up helping them open other locations and training the staff. And then I thought, the next evolution, what would that be? Well, if I keep doing this and I save up my money, over time, one day, maybe I'll be able to own my own restaurant, maybe chain of restaurants. And this dreaming, this vision, this desire for something better than what I was doing, and any movement I could take towards it, was the first step in actually creating some sort of life different than that stuck place that I was. And that movement, that hope, that desire, that dream is the first thing that you need in whatever capacity it comes. So if I could give anyone a piece of advice right now, don't wait until you have the perfect thing figured out. Whatever is in your life right now that excites you, whatever is that potential next step, even if it's a potential, go for it. Make some sort of decision that you will commit to it for a certain period of time, expand into the best version of yourself within that, and then start that process. Okay, now this happened at many points in my life. Where I am today, I would honestly say I feel like I'm meant to do this for the rest of my life. It gives me so much purpose, there's so much alignment, but I would have never found this if I didn't continuously follow that exact same philosophy that I just told you. Because it went from being in restaurants to, I thought, what's the next version, expanding into that. When I became a manager after a while there, I thought, maybe this actually isn't what I want to do. When I looked down the line and thought of the next evolutions of all of that, I thought, okay, maybe there's something more. And so what I did was I brainstormed and I came up with an idea. From my time in the restaurant industry, I realized I was good with people. And I wanted something that had more of an uncapped income potential. And so I brainstormed, I looked at my options, and I said, you know what? I want to go into real estate. Now, at the time, I didn't know if that was going to be my forever purpose, passionate thing. But all I did know was that it felt a little better, again, than what I was doing before. And so I went into that. When I was in real estate, I met a personal development coach, changed my life forever, got so obsessed with the personal development work. It helped me increase my income and create the kind of success I had once wanted in real estate. And then I got to a point where I felt there was more. I had an idea. And so I created an app, a personal development app, because I wanted to be in personal development full time. From there, I ended up wanting to spend all my time on that. That was the next exciting thing. Again, this is actually after 4 or 5 years of real estate, but I wanted to go all in on that. So I ended up saying, okay, rather than having this business of real estate or something that requires so much of me, I'm going to find a job that feels more aligned, that I can not really just clock in, clock out, but that I can reserve my emotional and mental energy for what I wanted to build, which was the app. And I found myself in the coaching industry. I was actually coaching, or selling coaching for real estate investors. And the cool thing about this was this program was like half real estate, half mindset, which was what I was. That endeavor gave me all of the skills and the next confidence and the self-image expansion and everything that I need. Along the way, I met other coaches as well that really helped me, that allowed me to then really face and uncover the true thing, which was to step into coaching myself and build a personal development coaching company that helps people unlock their true potential. Now, what you have to understand is I would have never gotten to this point if I didn't just follow that essence within me, whatever it was within me that desired something different at each point in the journey. Even when it comes to me working at that coaching company, I was making 20 grand, 25 grand a month. I was not working a lot either. And so it's a very comfortable life. At least at the time, or a few years ago when I was filming it, I thought that was a lot of money. I thought that was a comfortable life. I was able to go on trips. I started, treating at the time we weren't married, but my soon-to-be wife a lot more. I started treating her in different ways. And I could see how that could be a nice life. I still got to a point where I felt something within me needed change again. So I had hit a lot of what I wanted in life. The certain money or income goals that I had once wanted, right? Certain lifestyle goals came with that. My own sobriety and peace of mind, my physical and mental and spiritual health. But there was still something within me telling me that I needed to experience more. It wasn't just about living this nice, comfortable life. And so each checkpoint along the way kind of gave me something so important to allow me to be the kind of person who does what I do now. This last piece was the true fulfillment piece, the impact piece, what I truly think I'm meant for. But like I said, it would have never happened if I didn't become that person in the restaurant industry, learn about service, and actually fulfill talking to people, which led me to real estate, which is the first time I fulfilled some of my money goals, realizing that it wasn't just money that I wanted. And again, giving me the confidence and business acumen to be able to continue on to building a startup, doing something from zero, building that from absolute zero. I wasn't even the tech guy. I ended up having to find a co-founder. So it made me realize there was really no barrier to doing anything I wanted in life. To that final piece, which is working at the coaching company, understanding the ins and outs of it, learning and being able to talk to high-level investors and understanding my positioning and my self-image within those conversations, it all gave me the confidence and all the individual pieces I needed to go step into what I was truly meant for. So there are a lot more things and there are a lot more lessons that I learned along the way. You know, there's so much when it comes to the biggest things in my life were mentors, understanding the mind and the universe, understanding how to shift and rewire my identity and my beliefs to be in alignment with the highest and best version of each thing I did. That's what I accredit all my success to. That's what I help people do today. But I want to tell you something right now. For the sake of this video, you have to just keep finding whatever essence within you is calling you to more, listening to that intuition, and expanding into the best version of yourself, setting goals and continuously expanding into the best version of yourself within that. And if you find yourself at a place in life where you feel like you are comfortable, you have the money, you have the nice lifestyle, you have the things you wanted, but you want more still, that is not a bad thing, that is a good thing. You are meant for more for some reason. It's the only reason you're experiencing that feeling. And although it's scary to leave what's good, to potentially go and expand into what's great, you have to listen to and follow that voice within you and do whatever it takes to become the person who fulfills that next desire, vision, essence, whatever is within you, whatever you're called to. This is how your life unfolds in the path that you're meant to. It does take awareness because you have to learn to listen to your intuition. You have to discern between the intuition and the paradigm or programming, which will be fear-based. The ego will feel threatened every time you decide to leave a different self-image or a different thing that you wrapped your identity around. But trust me when I say, it's all worth it if you keep following your heart. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for today. I will say that, aside from desire, one of the most important things along my journey was mentors. I met a mentor when I was 20 or 21. It was a Bob Proctor coach. She is the one that helped me go from broke to, making six figures into my early 20s, buying a nice condo and nice cars by the age of, I think 23 was when I bought my first property, right? I had another mentor along the way that ended up guiding me to really follow my passions and helped me get sober. I had another mentor along the way who really helped unlock that next level version again and be able to leave the comfortable job to go and step into my true highest and best calling and the best version of me within that, okay? So I'll make a whole other video on mentors one day, I'm sure. I could talk to you forever about this stuff, but follow your desire, listen to your intuition, and get the right people in your corner who have done what you want to do or who can help you unlock that true potential in your mind so that you can experience that next level. If you're interested in learning more about how I help people do that, we do run events, we have coaching programs, there's a lot of ways you can work with me. I would suggest going onto Instagram at Adam of Venus and checking me out. If you want a free visualization or a training that I've run in the past, you can shoot me a DM. Let me know you've watched this video. Let me know you want that. And I will see you guys soon. Take care.